400,000 memoir sold. Charles shocked over Harry's tell-all book Can't Stand Harry Anymore. The Duke of Sussex's controversial memoir was released on Tuesday with reportedly around 400,000 sales in all formats during the first day of its publication. Prince Harry should be stripped of his Duke of Sussex title for trashing the royal family, senior Conservative MPs have argued. Isle of Wight MP Bob Seely is set to unveil legislation that could see Prince Harry's dukedom downgraded in the same way that German royals had their titles stripped in the First World War. Under the legislation, members of the Privy Council could take away Harry and Meghan's Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles. Speaking to The Sun, Mr. Seely said that there was an obvious hypocrisy with the Sussexes happy to use their royal titles while criticising the institution. He said, "They seem to hate the institution of the royal family but seem perfectly happy to use its titles. Don't use the titles to trash the institution. Harry is not behaving with any dignity whatsoever in all this." Speaking to the BBC earlier, Mr. Seely said that if Duke hates the royal family that he should set an example and restyle himself as Mr. Windsor, voluntarily relinquishing his royal titles. He said, if he hates the institution so much, why doesn't he set an example and become Mr. Windsor? To trade on titles while at the same time trashing the royal family, the whole thing is sad and desperate. East Worthing and Shoreham MP Tim Loughton, whose constituency is in West Sussex, said that the Duke's behaviour was embarrassing to Sussex residents. He added that the Duke had also failed to follow the advice of his grandfather Prince Philip and that he should opt out of his titles. He said, "The Duke of Sussex has refused to take the advice of his grandfather Prince Philip of look up and look out, say less, do more, and get on with the job. The way he has conducted himself in such a public way is embarrassing to the residents of Sussex and deeply hurtful to his family coming so soon after the death of the Queen. He has clearly opted out of the job and therefore he should opt out of the titles and the perks that come with it." However, ministers have tried to stay out of the royal row, with Number 10 refusing to back Mr. Seely's proposed legislation. Harry has sensationally accused the monarchy of trying to undermine his explosive memoir Spare because its controversial contents have perhaps made them feel uncomfortable and scared as he launched another furious attack on the royal family in the latest in a line of TV interviews to promote his book. The 38-year-old held nothing back as he took aim at his family during an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Tuesday, when he wavered between hurling barbs at his family and making light-hearted jokes about his frost-nipped genitals while swigging a glass of tequila. One of the more serious moments during the lengthy sit-down saw Harry rounding on his relatives over the backlash to his memoir, with Colbert questioning whether he believes the royals have an active campaign to undermine this book. "Of course," the Duke responded, adding that the British press has also been complicit in this so-called campaign, with Colbert chiming in, but aided and abetted by the palace. "Again of course," Harry confirmed. "But this is the other side of the story, right? After 38 years, they have told their side of the story. This is the other side of the story." The father of two then suggested that what he perceives as the royals' campaign against his memoir has come as a result of its being uncomfortable and scared over its contents. "There is a lot in there that, perhaps makes people feel uncomfortable and scared," he continued. "Uncomfortable They seem to hate the institution of the royal family but seem perfectly happy to use its titles. Don't use the titles to trash the institution. Harry is not behaving with any dignity whatsoever in all this. Speaking to the BBC earlier, Mr. Seeley said that if Duke hates the royal family that he should set an example and restyle himself as Mr. Windsor, voluntarily relinquishing his royal titles. He said, if he hates the institution so much, why